Hello and welcome to Great British Biking Adventures. This is a special episode posted for Remembrance Sunday 2023. Yesterday was Armistice Day. The Armistice was an agreement to end the fighting of the First World War. It was signed 105 years ago at 5:45 a.m. for the cessation of hostilities on the Western Front, which took effect at 11 a.m, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. Unfortunately, it was not the war to end all wars that we hoped it would be. Today, we are not celebrating or glorifying war. Today, we are remembering those who paid the ultimate sacrifice to uphold and preserve our freedom and defeat tyranny. In episode 14 of our coast adventure, we highlighted perhaps the most strategically important place from which the fight back started in World War II, Southampton, on the English south coast. To honour and remember all those who gave so much, we thought we would take another look at that episode.
We've been going with our YouTube channel a few weeks now. I think we're at... what episode are we on?
I don't know.
What are we like?
I know. Try and
We
keep
are
it
such
simple.
old farts. Hello and welcome back to Coast Adventure. If you've been watching this series, you'll know we are attempting to ride our motorcycle around the Great British coastline. This is episode 14. In the previous episode, we took a little tour around the Isle of Wight and ended up on the ferry heading towards Portsmouth. You will notice this is a different day. Let me explain. When we got back and did the editing, we realised we needed to say something about Southampton, in particular the significant part it played during World War II. So, we've made a special trip to Southampton, and this video will be seamlessly slipped in between episodes 13 and 15. If I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have noticed. You join us on the trip down on our first outing this year. We've done a few upgrades over the winter. I'm sure you've already noticed the tablet. We also have some additional driving lights. These were featured in the options, extras and accessory video we released several weeks ago. Also, I have a heated jacket, so I don't look like the Michelin Man anymore. We're having a few teething issues powering all this electrical stuff, and poor old Jared wasn't able to connect his heated jacket. Oh well, shame. On our way down, we rode England's most twisty road and released it as one of our midweek bonus videos a few weeks ago. We got an unexpected bonus of our own when we dropped into the Sammy Miller Motorcycle Museum en route. The museum was closed, but the legend himself, Sammy Miller, welcomed us in, gave a short interview and allowed us to film a special episode featuring his amazing collection of motorcycles. We stayed at the Pig in the Wall and were very impressed. I'd describe it as a characterful modern inn situated on the old quay built into, as the name suggests, the old city wall. It was within 10 minutes walking of all the things we wanted to see the next day. Had secure parking, superb service and fantastic food. There's an interesting backstory regarding the business and the food. They are passionate about food and service, and it shows.
In previous episodes, we've touched on D-Day, particularly the US troop gathering and departure points. Stick around to hear why we're only just mentioning the British and Canadian forces now. D-Day is the common name for the beginning of the liberation of Europe from Nazi Germany in World War II. In particular, the transporting of hundreds of thousands of troops from the south coast of Great Britain across the English Channel to the now infamous landing beaches on the north coast of France. The official name for this part of the liberation was Operation Neptune, and the overall plan was called Operation Overlord.
Go through the beach.
Go through the beach, yes, there's a lot of shingle in this car park. We're just leaving the Pig in the Hole. Bye, Pig!
It says if we wait here,
Hopefully the gates will open.
automatically. Wait here for the gates to open.
Come on, gates.
No.
So I'm going to have to get off. Why do I feel like I've got a whole load of reverb? Oh well. And off we go.
Had a lovely evening at the Pig Inn, or the Pig in the Wall.
Pig in the Wall.
Thoroughly recommend it. Really nice, lovely service, lovely room, fantastic food.
Amazing food. But they grow as much as they can in their organic walled gardens. And the chef and the gardeners work very closely together to cook whatever's in season and come up with whatever dish they can using the product. Oh, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
D-Day itself is probably the most famous phase of the liberation of Europe, partly thanks to movies like The Longest Day and Saving Private Ryan. It all began in the early hours of the 6th of June 1944, when more than 156,000 Allied troops left various places along the south coast of England and landed on the shores of Normandy in Nazi-occupied France. There were 5 landing areas that were assigned the code names Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno and Sword. The British, Canadians and Americans were given different landing beaches and departure points. The Americans landed at the westernmost beaches, Utah and Omaha. They had the most departure points, including Falmouth, Plymouth, Dartmouth, Torquay, Weymouth and Poole. This is why, until now, we've only just spoken about the US troops. The British and Canadian forces landed at Gold, Juno and Sword and departed from Southampton, Portsmouth and New Haven. Southampton was Britain's most important military port during World War II, and that made it a key target for German bombing well before D-Day. As well as the docks, the city was also home to the Supermarine factory in Woolston, where the famous Spitfire fighter planes were built. Over 2,300 bombs were dropped, with more than 470 tons of high explosives pounding the city. Over 30,000 incendiary devices were also deployed, with more than 45,000 buildings damaged or destroyed. During the conflict, 57 attacks were made on Southampton, but over 1,500 air raid warnings were issued. Southampton would become known as Area C in D-Day preparations. Military Movement Control set up its headquarters in the Southwestern Hotel. The city and surrounding area were placed under strict control to prevent information of the plans being leaked to the enemy. The logistics were immense. To accommodate the invasion fleet, the already large docks were expanded, using the rubble from the buildings destroyed by the German bombing of the city. New rail depots and sidings, aerodromes and stockpiles of fuel, food and almost every type of supply imaginable were hidden away in the hinterland of Southampton. The Mulberry harbours and Rhino pontoons that were used as temporary landing stages for ferrying supplies from ship to shore were assembled close by in the neighbouring inlets and creeks. Hundreds of landing craft were assembled in the city's western docks. In the approach to D-Day, every road, lane and field surrounding the city was filled with military vehicles and personnel. In all, an incredible 2/3 of all those who were part of the initial assault sailed from Southampton. This city, that had suffered such a terrible assault in the early years of the war, rose to the call to arms and more than fulfilled its part in Operation Overlord. Following D-Day, Southampton was the chief supply and troop movement centre. It also received and treated the casualties of war. Between D-Day and the end of the war, more than 250,000 vehicles were shipped out of Southampton and over 3.5 million men. What a testament to a great city. While the invasion marked the beginning of the end of World War II, there was a terrible price paid. Total Allied casualties on D-Day itself are estimated at 10,000, including 2,500 dead, but more recent research has shown the figure may be closer to 4,500. Many of them were the US troops who bravely endured the fiercest German resistance and onslaught of machine gun fire while taking Omaha Beach. By the 11th of June 1944, less than a week after D-Day, the 5 beaches were fully secured. More than 325,000 troops, 50,000 vehicles and 100,000 tons of equipment had managed to land in Normandy, mostly having departed from Southampton. In less than 2 months, by late August 1944, northern France had been liberated. In total, 425,000 Allied and German troops were killed, wounded, or went missing during the Battle of Normandy.